and then up towards the start of race 3 of the season in Fanatec GT World Challenge Europe, powered by AWS Sprint Cup. Fans in the grandstand are ready. Race director gives the instruction to change the lights to green, and Raffaele Marcello, blast away drama in the background. Big accident involving Spinelli. There's an Audi involved. We're going to go safety car straight away, I would have thought. Spinelli is off the racetrack, others lit in the circuit. I think Enrique Chavez is involved in that in the McLaren.
Yeah, I think Chavez got hit. That spun him, turned him sharp left into the field, so we saw then the effect, the knock-on effect. So a number of cars went off in turn 1, other cars appeared to go off track coming to the exit of turn 3. So we're still waiting to see what race director is going to do as the field. And look at the field. We can see one of the cars at the very back. I think that was the Lamborghini that you spotted, Spinelli. So, wow. Well, trying to get 42 cars into one turn on the opening lap was always going to be a test. And I think at the minute, I have to say, they didn't pass the test.
Well, we did say in qualifying that the turn 1, 2, 3 S's is always a pinch point. It's also broken up the pack a bit, and I think there are others that survived it but have picked up damage. So we'll need to keep an eye on all of this, certainly to see which are the ones that are struggling at the end of the opening lap. So you're riding with Valentino Rossi, Charles Weerts in the red BMW, his teammate just up the road as the cars accelerate to the end of the middle sector then. And Valentino Rossi has got a real traffic jam ahead of him.
Yeah, and he's on the outside going through this kink on the back straight. He's got a car just to his right as they come down into turn 13 into 14. Then the quick flick up to turn 15. And Marcello's already got that sort of, you might call it comfortable, half a second advantage. But I think that actually Enrique Chavez got through that. So he is running currently in 3rd place. So Myron Shergaard was the McLaren that got tagged. Up the inside, and you get 42 cars trying to get through a very tight 4.2 kilometre, 2.6 mile circuit. And there's no big straight between all these 16 turns.
That was Lucas Legere being bold and brave as Marcello leads across the line. Altway is 2nd, in 3rd is Chavez, 4th is Verviche all over him like a rash, 5th is Guven, in 6th place Christopher Meeks in the green Audi, 7th is Albert Costa's Ferrari, 8th is Aurelian Panis, and he is the leading gold as Valentino Rossi gets up the inside of Robert Renard, but he can't get past the Porsche.
No, he wasn't quite far enough alongside. He nearly got it done. He's going to try and make the undercut. He's tapping the back of the Porsche to settle it, and then he gets up the inside. So finally, after 3 corners, I think he's got it done. Yes, he has.
And also trying to get through there, look, is the Nicholas Cruton BMW, and he's got past Robert Renard. And then Sebastian Bode in the red Mercedes tries it and goes way wide, coming off the corner and drops back rather than gaining. Right, let's try and piece it together, John. Lights will change, we go racing, but
2 McLarens nose to tail. It's the second of the 2 McLarens. Suddenly it seems to get tagged. Yes, it did get tagged, and literally just spun the car around into the right, into the left, and that was the beginning of what we saw was confusion, if not, I mean, unbelievable. I mean, I can't imagine how all those cars that were spinning in the middle of the pack got away with it.
That's Charles Weerts having a go at the Mercedes there at the inside of Jim Pla. Through he goes, so the BMW squeezes up the inside, and through goes Charles Weerts, then gains ground. BMW 31, JB, Jean-Baptiste Simonar on his toes there to get past Yuki Nomoto. Nomoto in turn has got stuck behind Pietro Delinquenti as they come up towards turn 16. So that queue of cars building up.
And it's Petresi who's running behind. So he's looking to find a way around the BMW to make maybe more than a single pass. He's got Simonar, Nomoto and Delegati. So, oh, that was hip and shoulder.
Was it ever? And Jean-Baptiste Simonar gains 1 place, nearly 2.
And Petresi does likewise. And he's going to gain 2. The Lamborghini's got his cut down tire.
Yeah, it's got damage. So off the road and back on again, the Audi. On the road, off the road and now crabbing with damage is Yuki Nomoto.
That's suspension.
It is. It's not a puncture, is it? It's damage suspension. And also into the pit lane has come Dean McDonald, sadly. That's up on the jacks as well. The McLaren from JP Motorsports. Driver out. Another retirement.
Oh, Valentino. That was one from 2 wheels on the grass coming down the straight. I'll have a look at that again.
He's gained a place off Lucas Legere. Has he? Legere stays on the outside line and goes back behind the BMW. Rossi secures the place, and that moves him up into 16th spot.
He's on board. This is up at turn 9 and 10 as we come onto the back straight. Gets us alongside, almost along. There's the benefit of getting a 15 onto the grass, cuts the grass, and gets alongside Legere and takes that position away.
Rossi in, and also Weerts in. So give Vanthor for Weerts and give Maxime Martin for Valentino Rossi as much time as possible.
So it's Weerts coming in just ahead of Rossi. and how well the WRT team going to manage it. Well, very well by the looks of things. So Valentino disconnects all the bits and pieces. Maxime Martin climbs in, pulls over the shoulder strap. Valentino leans in, assists, and then the netting, which is mandatory now, goes back into position. The door is closed, and that's Valentino's job done here for this afternoon.
And away goes Dries van Thor, away goes Maxime Martin, who I think is going to jump ahead, isn't he? Yes, on the pit stop. The Audi has dropped back behind both BMWs, so the car that was ahead on the run into the pits, now Mathieu Drudy's number 40 Audi, has fallen back behind both BMWs.
So Marcello is out, Timo Boguslawski gets in, one set of tires off. Let's see, pretty shiny set of tires going on from Boguslawski. There's the Ferrari behind. So it came in, what, 5 seconds behind the Mercedes, so there'll be a little bit behind. The Mercedes is about to roll, it is rolling, and they're still fighting with the left front of the Ferrari, so off it's jacked. I think that pit stop will maybe a couple of tenths, maybe a couple of seconds even, behind the Acutis ASP team.
Riding on board with Maxime Martin.
Look at the struggle he's got keeping that Lamborghini pointing in the right direction. Up the inside now, Maxime Martin gets the job done, or has he?
Back on the inside is Pepper, retakes the place, so you run a little bit wide.
Christopher Hauser's going to make a move up the inside and gets past Maxime Martin. That was always going to be the case. Hauser watching those two go at it like a bare-knuckle fight. Now he's gained that position, and Maxime Martin tries to come back, and he has come back.
Round the outside, that was Grunt in a straight line, wasn't it? They rubbed going into turn one. So one up and one back for Christopher Hauser. Great opportunistic dive to gain the place, but that was sheer horses that outgunned him on the pit straight. Jordan Pepper in the Lamborghini on his toes to try to get through. Maxime Martin wants to try to jump him if he can. It was at this section a few laps back that we saw how nervous the Lamborghini was, but now Pepper to the inside, and Ramos gives him racing room, and Maxime Martin says, yep, I'll have that gap as well. Thank you.
And Christopher Hauser, watch Hauser. He's the third car on this line. We can't quite see where he is. Look how wide he goes coming through turn 15. The Ferrari just steps aside and lets this race go through. Bertolini has been around long enough to know this is not my race, and I'm just going to let these guys go at it.
Right, so their fourth is Thierry Vermeulen, and Vermeulen is keeping, as we know, one of the best GT drivers, triple Sprint Cup champion at bay. Again, nose to tail. This time, though, Vermeulen has to think about defending, and Van Thor is all over him like a rash. Inside, outside, inside, outside, inside at Quetchia. Can't do it.
And damage to the front of the BMW.
Yeah. And I thought for a moment Vermeulen was going to go wide. Didn't quite happen for him now. Look behind the graphic. Here they come. Van Thor wide into 9. Wants the undercut at 10. And Vermeulen is going to run wide. Here comes the BMW. This is the part of the circuit that plays to its strength. Van Thor is up the inside, and Vermeulen is hung out to dry on the outside line. He's trying desperately to get back ahead on the outside line as they come to the end of the back straight, and Van Thor says, no, you don't. Go through the kink, go through the corner, and this time he's ahead, and that secures the place. Job well done, but he had to work for that. So we're on lap 36 in this first race of the weekend for Fanatec GT. There is Maxime Martin heading through turn 10, and that's for third. Right now, midway around the lap, Van Thor has caught, he's closed the second, and way out wide goes Nicholas Bart. Thank you very much, says Dries van Thor. Easy peasy, and he's done it. Through for third place. And that, off the road, is the Lamborghini from the GSM team, and the Lamborghini got all sideways, and around it went.
And that was a real tank slapper, and nothing can be done about it. But look, he's given it large, coming through the gravel, so he got it pointed in the right direction and kept the thing running and had the momentum, and did a good job to get off. Hopefully he didn't drag too much gravel onto the track as the consequence.
Well, that's Boguslawski, your race leader, who is on his way up towards the end of the race. Not put a wheel wrong in this stint.
No, I think he's done an excellent job under pressure, jumping into the car, as you pointed out, not having driven it this morning, and goes on and gives this another victory for the Acutis ASP Mercedes AMG GT3 team.
Timo Boguslawski, Raffaele Marciello win race 1 at Misano. A great drive by the Italian and Russian drivers, as there for second place across the line comes Konsalapalainen, the gap at the flag 7.4 seconds, and for third it is going to be Dries van Thor then. Great effort, 21st to third, excellent effort, proper racecraft as well. Raffaele Marciello, Timo Boguslavski, the winners from Giacomo Alto and Consuela Balainen, Charles Weerts and Dries van Thor third. Then Fred Vervisch and Nick Bart ahead of Albert Costa and Thierry Vermeulen's Ferrari with Aurelien Panis and Alberto Di Folco sixth. The top 10 completed by Franck Pereira and Jordan Pepper's Lamborghini, from Valentino Rossi and Maxime Martin's BMW, Lucas Legere ninth with help from Christopher Hauser, and Mathieu Drudi and Ricardo Feller were 10th, but they have that 5-second time penalty. Congratulations, Raffaele Marciello and Timo Boguslavski, winners of race 1 here at Misano.